Good morning and welcome. Sorry. Welcome to Practical Christian Lessons. We're going to be going over Wisdom of Sirach, chapter 37 today. And I'm going to take a drink after that. Ooh. And if you missed it this past Saturday, we had a live stream. Watch our video yesterday, hear a little bit more about it. And, of course, go watch the live stream itself. You can hopefully have a video clipped a video of just the content we talked about, and if anyone was up early enough and there for Q&A, we'll have that as well in the live stream section, not in the video. I'm going to have to get up earlier than expected, so if no one's there that early in the morning, I'm not surprised on a Saturday. But we're going to be talking about chapter 37, which is mostly about choosing. Every friend will say, "I too am your friend," but sometimes a friend is a friend in name only. Is it not grief to the death? Is it not a grief to the death when a companion and friend turns to hatred? O evil reasoning, why were you involved? To cover the land with deceit? A companion delights in the gladness of a friend, but in time of affliction he will be against him. A companion labors to help a friend for his stomach's sake, and in a time of battle he will take up the shield. Do not forget a friend in your soul, and do not be unmindful of him with your wealth. Every counselor extols his own counsel, and some offer advice in their own interest. Protect yourself from a counselor, and know beforehand what is his interest. For he will take thought for himself, lest he cast his vote against you, and say to you, "Your path is good." Then he will stand aside to see what will happen to you. Do not consult with a man who looks at you suspiciously, and hide your counsel from those who envy you. Also, do not consult with a woman about her rival, nor with a coward about battle, nor with a merchant about exchange, nor with a buyer about selling, nor with a slanderer about gratitude, nor with an unmerciful man about generosity, nor with an idler about any work, nor with a seasonal hired hand about completing his work, nor with a lazy servant about a big job. Pay no attention to these in any counsel. Instead, persevere with a godly man who you know keeps the commandments, whose soul accords with your soul, and will share in your suffering if you fall. Stand firm on the counsel of your heart, for no one is more faithful to you than it. For a man's soul sometimes tells him more than 7 watchmen sitting on high on a watchtower. And in all matters pray to the Most High, that he may direct your way in truth. A word is the beginning of every work, and counsel comes before every action. 4 types of things appear as a clue to a change of heart: good and evil, life and death, and it is the tongue that continually rules them. There is an astute man who is a teacher of many, but is useless to his own soul. A man who devises words craftily will be hated. This man will go hungry, for grace was not given to him from the Lord, because he is destitute of all wisdom. There is a wise man in his soul, and the fruits of his understanding are trustworthy when he speaks. A wise man will instruct his own people, and the fruits of his understanding are trustworthy. A wise man shall be filled with blessing, and all who see him will consider him blessed. The life of a man is numbered by days, but the days of Israel are without number. The wise man will inherit trust among his people, and his name will live forever. My son, while you are still living, test your soul, and see what is bad for it, and do not give in to that. For not everything is profitable for every one, and not every soul enjoys everything. Do not be gluttonous for every dainty food, and do not give yourself over to food, for overeating will bring sickness, and gluttony will lead to nausea. Many have died because of gluttony, but the careful man will prolong his life. Lots of good, wise words on choosing there. Let's just make this a practical reflection. Real quick, that made me think of this book I finished recently, The Accountable Man, which I bookmarked a page in here, and I'm not sure as to why. But this was a nice little book I read last weekend. It's by Tom L. Eisman? Eisenman? Eisman. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that, but it's about being an accountable man. I would recommend this for men and women as well. This is not just, it's definitely geared towards men, but it's not only applicable for men. But the point of the book is about how to build friendships and how to build them specifically with accountability in mind, and to build accountability relationships. Because And this is getting especially more and more prevalent for younger people. But friendships seem to be harder and harder for people to get, especially as they get older, and less common and less frequent, and on and on. I'm sure everyone's heard countless numbers of statistics about how younger people are tending to be more and more indoors. But I also know a ton of young people who want to have relationships and friendships and just aren't sure how. This book is a good idea of how to get into that. And the advice of just walk up and ask somebody is never utilized enough, shall we say. But this has very good advice on how to choose people. and as it talks about in the beginning, choose things. And see what is bad for you, do not give into that. For not everything is profitable for everyone. I immediately thought of Paul's words. Everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. Or, depending on your translation, might have it differently. But here, right, the consultation it talks about here is also a very good thing to apply to friendships, and I think that's part of the author's intention here, right? If you want to grow in a specific area, you're not going to go consult someone who's not good in that area. I love how it uses examples. So you don't talk to a coward about battle. You don't talk to an unmerciful man about generosity. You go seek people who do these things. You want to be more generous. You want to have generous friendships. Go seek out a person you know is generous. If you want to pursue a relationship with Christ and want friendship or a mentorship with someone, or if you want to grow in a relationship with Christ through scripture or prayer or whatever, you seek a friendship or a mentorship with someone who you know has a strong relationship with Christ, whether that's because of their prayer life or their scripture life or whatever. That's the kind of things you do, and that's good knowledge to keep in mind. That's applicable to everybody, not just men, but also women. And again, highly recommend this book. It was really good, and I throw the bookmark. But I also think it's super important to take this idea well beyond just friendships. I know we've talked about, because it comes up in the Proverbs, it's come up in this, having wise counsel is super important. And that is surrounding yourself with people you know that you can trust to speak in the correct way. Now, that's not necessarily meaning that they're always going to be right and always going to be have the exact perfect information, but surrounding yourself with godly people who truly follow Christ and live out a godly life. That's the kind of people you want to be seeking counsel from, and absolutely get mentors. I'll never say that enough on this channel. Seek out mentors who can guide you, who you can go to, who you can trust. That's my advice and word to you guys today. Have a good day. God bless.